Hello friends, this is Terry on this Shiva Moon happening on March 8th that brings us into MAHASHIVARATRI. And every waning moon on the day before the new moon, this is known as the Shiva Moon. It represents that crescent moon that Shiva wears on his forehead. And this lunar cycle in March, we have a special Shiva moon known as MAHASHIVARATRI. And this is celebrated when we enter Aquarius in the Ayurvedic astrology system. And I am not a full-on Ayurvedic astrologer, but I do love some of these celebrations. And this is probably my favorite MAHASHIVARATRI. And the reason in Ayurvedic astrology it is Aquarius season when we are celebrating Pisces season in the Western astrology is because of the procession of stars. The stars are shifting from where they were when astrology was first developed, and perhaps Ayurvedic astrology is even more aligned to the placement of where things are currently. But it can really overwhelm you to think about all this. So don't worry, you don't need to know all of that. All you need to know is that this is the moon to celebrate Shiva by singing Om Namah Shivaya. And I will put a link down below in the descriptions to a beautiful live version of Om Namah Shivaya if you want to learn this chant. So you can chant it on this Friday, March 8th. And if you can get up before sunrise and look to the south, you will see, well, I guess it depends where you live. I'm in the Northwest. For me, it's the south, but you will see that sliver of a Shiva moon. And Shiva is ruled by the planet Saturn. And he is the great protector and provider. So when you go out in the early morning hours before the sun comes up and you just pay homage to that Shiva moon, you can ask Shiva to protect and provide for you. And I once had a near-death experience when I just started chanting Om Namah Shivaya. It just came out of nowhere. It was almost like a past life calling of this chant that I barely knew. But it was in Northern California long ago. This is about 30 years ago when I used to work at a group home for troubled teens. And we had this work van and I had to drive to Quincy in the snow and ice. And I wasn't really that comfortable driving in the snow and ice. I was only like 25 years old. And I was crossing this metal bridge, going at a really slow speed when I hit black ice. And the car just completely got out of control, as it will sometimes with black ice. And I was just spinning, completely doing 360 spins. And to one side of me was like a 500-foot drop into icy cold river that I thought I am not going to survive it if the van goes over that embankment. And there wasn't even a guardrail. It just went right over with this bridge. And the other side was this mountain, and it was just this stone wall of this mountain. And I was singing Om Namah Shivaya. It just came out of nowhere, and I just started chanting Om Namah Shivaya, and I was praying to Shiva to get me closer to the mountain because that just seemed safer, even if I crashed into it. Felt safer than falling down into the river. And sure enough, just within 30 seconds of singing and chanting Om Namah Shivaya, the car stopped just before the mountain, and I literally rolled down my window and just put my hand out and felt the mountain rock wall. And I was like, I felt this presence of Shiva just protecting me, and that is the magic of singing Om Namah Shivaya anytime you need protection or you just need to be provided for in some way. Shiva will show up when you say Om Namah Shivaya. And I really do believe. And the crazy thing was that van had zero tread on the tires. After I finally got home after that horrible near accident, like 2 days later, another staff member was driving the van and they flipped over, head over, on just rain. It wasn't even black ice. So I really do feel that Shiva protected me. And also I wish that the social work place that I worked for would have checked the tires on that van before they had us going out into snow and ice and rain. But yeah, it was my higher soul really singing this prayer to be saved by Shiva. And I've been a huge Shiva fan and a believer in Shiva ever since. So if there's something that you're praying for, get up early on Friday, March 8th. Look to the Shiva moon to the south. There's also some rituals where you just want to bathe yourself, shower, be really cleansed. You can do a fast or at least be vegetarian for that one day. And you can just chant Shiva. The more you chant it, the more love and devotion and protection you will get from Shiva back. And Shiva once loved the goddess Sati. And it is believed that after Sati's death, Lord Shiva underwent a deep meditation to resolve his grief for Sati. And he hoped that they would be together again. And it was on this Shiva moon, it was in February, March, in this Aquarius Shiva moon, when Sati became reincarnated as Pavaratri. And the day that she became Lord Shiva's consort is celebrated now as this MAHASHIVARATRI. So it's really a love story. If you're somebody who's looking for love, this Shiva MAHASHIVARATRI Day is a love story. And this is also a great time to chant Om Namah Shivaya for love. And this celebration commemorates this overcoming darkness and grief and ignorance through divine love, and that you can call your love back to you. And you can celebrate this Mahashivaratri, like I said, by fasting and chanting, and just be sure to get up early in the morning so you can gaze upon that waning crescent Shiva moon, because this year 2024 holds exceptional significance as we have all these rare yogas happening and converging at the same time. It's promising just really unique blessings for us all on this year. And this cosmic alignment of this auspicious day is set to bring forth prosperity, love, fulfillment, and spiritual elevation. Converging of Shiva Prades, I'm probably saying that wrong, and the Shiva yoga is creating just a celestial tapestry of divine energy on this March 8th day. But it really goes through the whole weekend. That is going to be this new moon weekend. I just recorded my new moon astrology, if you haven't seen that already. And it's going to start at 4:44 a.m. on March 8th, when we can see that Shiva moon in the sky, and it extends until 12:48 a.m. on March 9th, the next day. And that's when it's really powerful. Every chant you do for Shiva is like 1,000 times enhanced on this day. And this yoga, influenced by Lord Shiva, promises the fulfillment of your greatest desires. This is a manifesting moon, and it will bring joy to your marital life and attract love. And simultaneously, we also have the auspicious presence of Shiva Prades, which is a rare transit that ensures the favor of Goddess Lakshmi. Goddess Lakshmi, who eases your path to wealth acquisition. And Goddess Lakshmi, she loves for you to sing sweet praises. So be really extra loving to your family and your friends, because when you say kind things and kind words, it's like the nectar that draws Lakshmi, like she was a hummingbird. I think of Lakshmi as a hummingbird coming. When you say sweet things, or you want to make some cookies or some sweet treats to really call in Lakshmi's energy on this Shiva Maharatri as well, MAHASHIVARATRI. And the luckiest sign of all that will really be receiving Shiva's blessings the most in 2024 is Leo this year. But remember that it's Ayurvedic astrology, meaning it's really more likely to be for Virgos. I know some Virgos who could use some luck this month. And Virgo in Western astrology will really be receiving Shiva's blessing as well. And those will be the ones who receive, these income wealth streams that are promised. But the more you chant Om Namah Shivaya on this day, the more luck you will receive. So I bless you on this Mahashivaratri day, and may all your wishes come true. And I'll see you next time.